Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome into this weekend edition of the HyperX D2L Season 4. Ahead of us, the front end of a Team Liquid doubleheader as they face off now against Fnatic. Now, coming down the stretch, every match still matters. Fnatic versus Team Liquid. Both of these teams undoubtedly heading to our postseason. They've already done the work to get them there. However, a lot is up for grabs in terms of seeding, and we'll break that down in just a moment. No, for now, though, we got two very strong squads separated by the Atlantic Ocean. Can't wait to see them square off here today. Taking a look at Fnatic's lineup and the way they match up against Team Liquid. Fnatic has been a little bit up and down of late. They got into the D2L looking very sharp, and then they've kind of been up and down, not just here, but elsewhere as well. They're led by Fly on the hard support with Era on hard carry. Hani takes care of mid with No Tail on support and Trixie in the off lane. We can see they're sitting at 3-2, so still two more matches left for them to play. The last match they play will be the last match of the entire tournament group stage, and it's going to have a huge impact. And again, we'll break that down in just a moment. Today, their opponents on the other side of the river, they have been a bit of a surprise, and a pleasant surprise at that. That's Team Liquid. They also have two matches left today, left in the tournament as well as today, so they'll be finishing up their schedule by the time all is said and done at the close of the broadcast. They're 4-1 right now and really sitting great. They had pulled off the upset against Na'Vi. The only team they've lost to so far being Alliance, who of course finished with a perfect record. They're led by Fluff and Stuff on the support jungle with TC on hard carry. Bulba, one of the most experienced players across the world. An excellent mid, excellent solo lane player is really the way to say it, because Liquid, like so many teams post 6.79, it's not so much about the traditional breakdown of two supports, one carry, one mid, and one off lane. A lot of times it just comes down to speciality. When it comes to solo lane play, Bulba's one of the best in the business. You've got the youngster Koikva in the off lane who looks really good. He has a variety of heroes he can play, and we actually saw the last time they were in action, a hero he hadn't played in a while was the Lone Druid, and he has an excellent record on the hero. Used to play it a lot when he was with Mouse and showed just how experienced and talented he is with that hero. Then, of course, Way Too Sexy, who plays one of the best Visages you're ever going to see on the hard support. Let's take a look at our general standings and talk about what matters and why these matches matter here today. As you can see, Alliance, once again, they finished up their schedule quite some time ago. They're sitting at 7-0, a perfect finish for them. Na'Vi sitting at 5-2. They're now done. They're pretty solidly into the playoffs, but with a win here right now, Liquid could force a heads-up match. So let's break this down. The way our tiebreakers work is, first of all, it's win-loss record, then it's points, then head-to-head. So if Liquid wins, obviously they'll get the win. They'll notch another 2 points to their total. That'll put them in a direct tie with Na'Vi, even if they lose later on. But that's what's important. Liquid heavily favored in their second match of the day, taking on Mouse, who we can see is struggling quite a bit. Their only win coming against Dignitas, and even that forfeit win as Dignitas withdrew from the tournament due to roster instability. So if Liquid can win out the day, they're going to go into second place and be waiting at the top of our bubble playoffs, which, to be honest, I think almost everyone would have penciled Na'Vi in there based on nothing but reputation. So now let's look at Fnatic. 3-2. They've got two more matches left. One today against Liquid, one tomorrow against Evil Geniuses. Now that's going to be the big match involving everyone. If Fnatic wins, that's fine. They're going to move up in the standings. They'll likely wind up in a tie with Team Liquid in one form, fashion, or another. Then it'll come down to points and head-to-head win, but that's going to be just jockeying for position between third and fourth position in our bubble playoff picture. It's really all about the way Fnatic matches up with EG tomorrow that everyone's going to want to watch. EG, if they can get past Fnatic tomorrow, will actually leap out of the depths of sixth place and into our final position, fifth place, for the bubble playoff. So EG versus Fnatic matters a ton tomorrow. Team Liquid versus Fnatic matters a ton for these teams today in terms of their positioning. So much action here on the D2L, and even coming down to the last 2 days, the last 48 hours of play. So a lot for these two teams to play for. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. We'll be jumping into the match here in just a moment, guys. I'm going to be joined by Ben Merlini-Wu, as always. Can't wait to get the match underway. Again, a Team Liquid doubleheader on the way, the front end of which, Fnatic taking on TL. We'll be right back with the draft. Stick with us here on the HyperX D2L. And we're live. As I said, the draft not just underway, but well underway. The front three from Liquid, Elder Titan, Crystal Maiden, and Weaver. We can see Fnatic has actually banned out the Visage, as well as Koikva's Prophet with the first couple of bans. Very wise move from them. Way too sexy as Visage is. Well, let's just say he lives up to his name. Fnatic, though, going to get a couple of heroes they're very familiar, very comfortable with, in the Venomancer and the Lifestealer. Lifestealer, a hero that has fallen off in popularity in a large way since 6.79 debuted. But when it comes to Era plays one of the best in the West and one of the best in the world. Just knows how to handle the hero, knows how to maximize his early, mid-game, and late-game potential at all phases. Can't wait to see this matchup as it already begins to take shape. To help break down the draft and, of course, lend his insight and analysis through every match, just as he has throughout the entire tournament, welcome in once again, Ben Merlini-Wu. And Ben, I think it's safe to say Team Liquid really has been the surprise of the D2L West so far.
Team Liquid's turn to pick.
And gonna guess Ben is probably muted up. Hopefully he'll be joining us soon. There's the man. Welcome in. But yeah, just breaking it down. Team Liquid again. I would say that it's pretty safe to say they've been the surprise coming out of the West. I mean, everyone expected Na'Vi and Alliance to do really well, but after that it was just kind of a shakeup. Liquid, though, besting Na'Vi and sitting in a really nice position to get themselves into our second seed and at the top at the very end of our bubble race.
Yeah, everyone knew that Liquid was strong, but this strong, I don't think anyone would have predicted that at the beginning of the season, and they've just looked incredibly good. Everyone on their team just playing very well. Koikva, very nice addition, his chemistry seems to be pretty spot on with his team, and Way2 just really shining on that support role. And it looks like Fnatic has done their homework to banning out the Nature's Prophet, is what most teams do versus Team Liquid, but also banning the Batrider and the Visage are very, very important if you want to take down Liquid in this series. Fnatic's been on a bit of a cold streak recently, but early November they were just looking really, really good, also taking down Na'Vi. So both of these teams definitely have a lot to play for in this best of three.
Yeah, not only do they manage to take those heroes out, as you mentioned, the heroes that we've seen Team Liquid excel at, but managing to drop out or to counterpick, I should say, Clockwork. Clockwork, a speciality of Bulba, and I would go on the line and say Bulba's Clock is the best of any Western team and possibly the best in the world right now. The guy just has such an understanding of the hero, knows how to maximize his potential, and gets so much out of him regardless of farm, regardless of level, regardless of starting position. He just knows the hero backwards and forwards. So not only does Fnatic manage to deny Koikva his Prophet and Way2 his Visage, as well as the Bat, they manage to go ahead and snatch the Clock for themselves. Going to have a lot of range. Clock and Puck, two excellent heroes that can serve as vehicles for the Lifestealer and Lifestealer bombs. Infest bombs, I guess I should say. Liquid, though, this is, I would almost call this it's almost like a pre-TI 2013 kind of a Liquid draft. Liquid, when it comes to drafting, they do sometimes draft a little thin. Thin's the word I would use. They have to execute and play a surgical style, whereas Fnatic has a much more AoE-centric, a much more let's go fight and just take big five-man team fights on the back of our team fight potential, whereas Liquid's going to have to rely on picks and good movement, but two great movers in Crystal Maiden and Vengeful Spirit, now with the Storm Spirit, that adds some range of their own. Weaver, of course, an excellent single-target hero who can be problematic to shut down early on. And, of course, Elder Titan, who is one of the most well-rounded heroes in the entire pool.
Elder Titan drop off, but Team Liquid seems to value him as highly as we do, and picking him first, it's somewhat of a surprise, but to some people. But yeah, Elder Titan just still ridiculously strong, synergizes very well with the minus armor from Weaver and Vengeful Spirit, and even the magic damage from Crystal Maiden. So Liquid will go with the Storm Spirit. That will probably be Koikva's hero, and he has been just like, I wouldn't even say overperforming at this point. He's just been playing very, very solidly on the Lone Druid, on the Nature's Prophet, on the Storm Spirit, and it's just he's a player to watch this game. And we haven't seen Way2 play really much of anything but Visage, so I'm excited to see him play the Vengeful Spirit. As far as Fnatic's lineup go, it's just pretty solid all around. They have the Lifestealer for carry. They have the Initiation with the Dream Coil and the Hookshot, as well as the Lifestealer Bomb, and Invoker was neither picked nor banned out by Liquid, and Fnatic have been relying on that hero like very, very heavily. I think that's somewhat to their disadvantage because I think it's a situational pick, and I don't particularly like Honey's same build that he goes every game, which is Quaz Exort into an Orchid. So I think it's good that they're shying away from that because it's a little bit too predictable for them. And looks like Liquid also banned out the Wisp. They do love to run their Wisp tiny. Fnatic does.
We can see both teams moving out here early on, and doesn't look like either's really that interested in crossing the river. By all appearances, it seems there will be a 2-1-2 coming out of Liquid as Koikva's hooked up with Fluff. And down at bottom, we've got Way2 and TC ready to set up shop in that bottom lane. Bulba will be here in mid. But, I mean, taking a look at the early lineups here, the way the lanes seem to be shaping up so far, give me a couple of sentences on both, Merlini. What's going to be key, say, in the first 5? You know, that's probably a good way to put it. What's your first 5 objectives? What is important to both sides, and where is the execution going to lie?
First 5 on Fnatic is just to get level 6. They need level 6 on Lion for that Finger of Death. They need level 6 on Clockwork to hookshot, and Puck for that Initiate too. They don't really have that good Initiate aside from their ultimate, so that's the most important thing for Fnatic. Just don't get too far behind early. Liquid, I think they can put a lot of pressure early with the Crystal Maiden and Vengeful duo. Those are 2 of the strongest heroes at level 1, although Venomancer will give them a run for their money. And just need to protect Storm Spirit if all possible once it gets to that point. So just trying to secure as much farm as possible on Storm Spirit so he doesn't die to just a simple Impale Hex Finger combo. Just getting like treads, maybe a couple of Null Talismans on him is going to be pretty important. And that pretty much goes the same for Weaver too. If he gets hexed out, and he's just very susceptible to Finger, to the burst from the silence. So I think Liquid just needs to brace her up and get that HP so they can fight Fnatic head on when it gets to the first nighttime and beyond.
Like that. Brace her up. Put it on a t-shirt.
Bracer Gaming.
I'm sure Team Liquid will sell it. Taking a look at Fnatic's lineup and how it's shaping up. We do see a quick rotation, by the way, with the Crystal Maiden making her way down from Liquid. I really like this. Gives them a chance to put pressure onto Era and secure that early farm, as you mentioned, for TC. Speaking of Fnatic, it will be the Lion, handled by Fly. He's making his way up the top as we speak. Could be a gank attempt incoming. No tail will be on the Venomancer, with Era, as expected, farming up the Lifestealer, one of his signature heroes. Trixie will be handling the clocks in the solo off lane, at least solo for the moment, but again, Lion on the way, with Hani on Puck here in mid. And we can see Fly should be spotted as soon as he walks around this tree. As the ward already there, and they might even be able to see him a little bit already.
They spot him right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's very unusual to have 2 wards on your safe lane, but it's definitely paying off for Liquid right now. They anticipate that Fnatic is going to move around early, and I don't particularly like the Boots First build on Lion because I think he just needs levels, and he needs to be pulling, although Koifa is going to scout him out. Yep. And now what does Fly do? He just runs away, and he's going to be level 1 with 0 experience, 2 minutes in. And yeah, Hex is nice and all, but it doesn't do any damage. And you really do need some damage if you want to get some work done on the hero. It looks like 2-minute rune is about to spawn. Who is it going to go to?
Be a double damage spotted by Fly, and see if he's going to hang on to that. No bottle for Hani yet. 1 up for Bulba. Yep, he'll probably jaunt to that, and will. So will be secured by the puck. Certainly help him in lane with CS. So far, though, relatively quiet. We can see how carefully Era and No-Tail are playing down here in this bottom lane. When they were even up under their tower, we saw No-Tail hanging around in here, just knowing the kill potential so large whenever you have a Crystal Maiden and a Venge in lane at the same time. Speaking of that Venge, yep, we can see Way2 now beginning to rotate as well. So already,
I mean, Fly's gonna die if he chills there. Like, he is in a very, very bad position right now, and Koikfa is gonna just run away. He has boots, but he's not gonna be able to catch up, and Fly is just gonna get sandwiched. Looks like this early first blood is about to happen.
Oh, Way2 giving
he has
himself
boots
away.
though.
Yeah,
If they,
doesn't look like they're gonna be able to catch him. Way2 throwing up the wave of terror, and now we're gonna have Koikfa eating a bit of damage. Now this is where you got to be careful against the clock. Level 4 battery assault with cogs. Didn't drop the cogs down. Now with the point in a rocket player, it is very easy to
Bulba in mid. Fly's pinging him out, but he's at full HP. No stout shield on him. Fly will see him, and it's going to be minimal harass coming out.
All right, if you could check your Dota TV real quick, Merlini.
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, cool. But down at bottom, TC being pinged out. They do have a sentry down there, and yep, one of their own on the other side of the woods. We can see allows them to spot that out. Pharaoh will go ahead and bring that down. So a lot of movement so far, and this is what we expect with this kind of a lineup. I mean, Lion and Veno, excellent roamers. Crystal Maiden and Venge, excellent roamers. Neither team, though, able to get the advantage. Both teams playing very cautious, having the wards down, having their vision. Just really tight strategic Dota so far.
Yeah, a lot of people buying boots first, too, and that really shows you how much they want to get an edge up in this early game. Clockwork with the early boots. Koikfa with the early boost just to counter the early boost from the other people. So none of these teams are playing very greedily, and that's one thing I like about Liquid. They don't go mass Midas. They don't tone down aggression when they should. when they shouldn't, and they just spend their money on the correct items usually. And they have very good gold management as well as item choices. Quickfoot on top.
Yep. Salving up. Trixie and Fly were there. Looks like Fly spent a Hex while I was poking around the runes. Going to get some damage done. Here's way 2 magic missiles. There's the lead off and the Vortex. This might be her first blood, and it will be. Koikva not the one you want to give that to if you can help it. A Storm Spirit off to a good start has the absolute potential to take a game over. Not to say that's the make or break, but certainly going to help him out. He's almost level 6 now as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Lion's just in this really bad position right now. 4.5 minutes in, he's still level 1, and all he has is the boots and magic stick to show. Like, now if Storm jumps on him, like, what is he gonna do? He can't really do anything. And Storm is pretty much almost level 6 too, 5.5 on him. And without that long duration disable, they're just, I mean, Lion's just very liable to defeat at this point, especially when they have long range spells such as the Swarm, such as the Elder Titan Spirit too. He might be dead before he even comes up to the fight.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's one of those situations when you roam a hero this early on, it's nice to be able to put pressure on a variety of lanes and to have that hero unaccounted for to make the enemy team play a little bit more passively. But you can find yourself kind of in this situation where it's like, okay, it's now 5.5 minutes in. I have found no experience. I have no levels. My Hex is not threatening at all. And now the lanes are going to begin to break down. And I have absolutely nothing to bring to a team fight because if I get hit with anything, I'm just, like you said, you're meat. You're nothing but feed. We can see a rotation now towards mid. Fly and No Tail hooking up with Hani. So Hani now level 6. Very likely we might see a coil attempt on the Bulba to follow it up. Nope, they're actually going to go ahead and back off. Thought they would try to get some pressure done.
Yeah, look at Bulba's position, though. He's playing very, very safely right now. He knows that the supports are missing from Fnatic, and he can use his Astral Spirit to scout if he wants to. Way 2 is trying to check the rune on top. Trixie is level 6. Looks like this may be a kill on Way 2.
Yep, Way 2 spotted out, hooked, and Hani in the right place at the right time. So Fnatic finds their way onto a board, and Fly, soaking up some much-needed experience, might actually get a second skill point spin here in just a minute. There it is.
There he goes. And TC on bottom, he's just going to be able to freeform. And this is something that we see Liquid do very, very commonly, is just put TC in the tri-lane versus the other opponent's tri-lane, especially if it's just mass slows they have. The Venomancer slow as well as the Lifestealer slow, and he's not in any danger at all, unless there is a rotation.
Immediate TP in the mid. No Tail was under an invis. Way 2's there, and we'll spin the Magic Missile for some free damage, but that's all that's going to be. Little bit of, I would say a little ham-handedness there out of Fnatic. Venom was sitting right there and just galed when he really had no help coming. The TP was immediate, and Bulba able to withdraw to safety. Probably could have gotten to safety even without the TP. So Liquid remains tied up 1-1. We're coming up on 7 minutes. We'll take our first look at the gold graphic and see, based on nothing but mechanics, it is quite a big win in terms of gold going the way of Liquid. The experience, though, not quite as big a gap as you would expect given how low-level Lion is.
Oh, Way 2 is going to get caught out again. Is Quickfoot going to be able to jump? Oh, Trixie instead runs away. Liquid doesn't have any vision up right now, and the other team does for that matter. And I think if they want to play aggressively, Fnatic does. They need wards up on the map, and Liquid, if they want to counter gank appropriately, needs some wards of their own, especially in the middle lane. Actually, there is one ward. Bulba is standing right on top of it right now. Era has a pretty nasty lifesteal, one of the most nasty ones that we've seen. And him versus TC, though, you have to give TC that matchup just because he did get babysat a little bit better.
Bulba cogged in here in mid. And Trixie doesn't have a lot of help coming. He may end up dead if he's not careful. Fly shows up. There's going to be the jump from Koikva and a double kill. Picked up. One goes to ET, one goes to Storm. I have no idea what the plan was there. Clock came in, cogged him in, stood there and had no assistance whatsoever, so they end up giving away 2 for free. Make it 1-3. Liquid now jumping out to an even bigger lead.
Yeah, if Hani were there, it would have been a different story, but what are you going to get? I don't really know what their game plan was there either. They don't really have any damage. Like, you have level 3 battery assault, but you're talking about an Elder Titan with 1100 HP and a magic stick right now, and his stats are actually ridiculous. I mean, he's level 8 at this point, and now Fnatic, like, who do they kill? They want to kill Elder Titan in mid, prevent him from snowballing, but they haven't been able to do anything to him. Koikva has just been free for on top for like 6 or 7 minutes pretty much, and TC's farming on bottom. He already has his Midas, so you have 3 heroes that you need to worry about if you're Fnatic, but who do you gank? And if you gank one, the other 2 will get farmed, and you're gonna have to commit a lot of resources to each one. It's not like you can split up 3 and 2 and kill 2 of the heroes.
Trixie spotted out, drops his cogs following the magic missile. He's gonna go ahead and hook to the creeps, but the frostbite's there from Fluff. They will be able to track him down. Vortex back, and that's another kill going
TC
the
on
way
bottom.
of
There's a
Team
smoke
Liquid.
coming. There's smoke.
And flies right on top of him. Sentry goes down. He's going to immediately Shikuchi. Very good games. His second sentry goes down. Where's he heading? Going to try to get near the tower, but Shikuchiing through the open wounds. Do they have any more detection? They don't. That's actually just really good. He's going to time-lapse back and go ahead and scurry away back through the sentries that went down. So TC with and gets a Midas off just for style points, I guess. So very nice gank awareness that time, getting himself out of some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic devoted 3 heroes, a smoke, and a sentry, and they weren't even able to cast a single spell on TC. And Fnatic's just really spread thin right now, and Lion's still sitting at level 3, Venom sitting at level 4. They were just going to be absolute food for TC and Koikva, as well as Bulba, in just a few minutes' time. Elder Titan almost has his drums up already, Koikva already with his 2 robes, and yeah, that is exactly what Fnatic needs right now. A Blink Dagger on the puck, and they need to start getting kills sometime soon, because they are not going to win this late game war, especially because they can't split push at all. You cannot split push versus Storm Spirit, especially when he has an Orchid, so they need to put some pressure out before that happens. TC on bottom is in...
Yep. Look like... I'm pretty sure you actually got a glimpse of Fly picking up that invis. Nope, there's the Hex. Arrow's there, but do they have the burst to bring it down? Nope, time lapse there. Shikuchi allows him to do a little bit of damage. Needs to be careful, though. He is on top of sentries, but speaking of food, we see the Bug happy to munch down on an under-leveled Lion, make it 5-1, and that's a lot of golden experience they did not need to give to the Bug.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to run a level 1 roamer, they need someone like VS, someone like CM, or even someone like Shadow Shaman. Like, that Shaco at level 1 is ridiculous. It's much better than Hex at level 1. And he can come back a little bit easier just because they have the push potential from him. But it looks like Honey will get the first kill with a Blink Dagger. And yeah, Weaver just needs to invest in treads. Probably a BKB or a Lincoln's next at this point. We sometimes see TC get both, to be honest.
Yep. Way2 gonna go ahead and bounce down, soak up some more experience. His level 6 now, so should be a bit more effective. Hani, though, setting up a Lifestealer bomb. Gonna look to go on Bulba here in mid. There it is. The coil goes down. Silence is there. TP will be there, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Through the Earth Splitter out, trying to cut off the path of retreat. He actually caught Fly with it. TC's gonna be able to notch another. No, nice Earth Spike, but ends up dying anyway. Now Koikva back in, gonna try to catch out Hani. Will be able to do so. They end up trading 2 for 1 now, and there's going to be the hook in from Trixie. The Gale caught a couple, but Fluff ends up dropping as well. So they end up going 2 for 2, Puck and Lion in exchange for Crystal Maiden and Bulba, and I think that's probably a trade Fnatic will take.
Yeah, this is good for them. They're getting the kills that they need. They're finally trading evenly for Liquid and not wasting their time running around and not getting kills. The gold lead's still very heavily in favor of Liquid right now. Almost 5,000, just 12 minutes in. That's with only 1 tower and 1 Midas. And meanwhile, Way2 is level 7 on bottom. He is going to be able to save people from Puck Bomb soon. That's going to be very important for them because Weaver without Lincoln's or BKB is just going to melt a Storm Spirit, and they need some ability to try and prevent it. Normally it'd be like a Shadow Demon Disrupt, but the Vengeful Spirit swap works very, very well. But Way2 has to be in a very, very good position in order to be able to do that and disrupt that initiate.
And TC's Midas Gold already beginning to kick in a little bit. We can see he's actually up a couple hundred gold over the Lifestealer. 3 of the top 4 farmers all belonging to Team Liquid. Still relatively close, all things considered, but as you said, across the board, especially with no towers down, for there to be a 5,000 gold lead is quite a big deal. There's a coil on to Bulba in mid. There's the jump from Koikva, and they're going to get Hani. There's an Earth Spike, but not before the puck was cleaned up. No Tail might be in trouble. Fly's going to be pursued out. Nice Frostbite, and they're going to get him. There's the swap, 3 for 0. And that's, I mean, again, you just can't afford to give this kind of a lineup this kind of an advantage. The gold's one thing, but the experience is going to be a much bigger story very soon. Now with the tower down, we're getting up in a 7,500 gold lead range. Era is relatively underfarmed for where he should be or where he would like to be. Just phase and drums up as of right now, only 500 gold aside. And this is a game where we've seen Liquid do this. They just kind of calmly and effectively assert dominance between 10 and 20 minutes. Then by the time you hit 20, they're already snowballing out of control.
I mean, what are they going to do when Storm Spirit has his Orchid? He pretty much has it right now. He has his Oblivion Staff, Robe of the Magi, and 1,600 gold. So, I mean, he's very, very close to it. And they're trying with Puck Bombs again and again. They might get a kill on Way 2 on bottom, but still not getting kills on the important heroes. Only one death on the Weaver, no deaths on Koikva. And Koikva, I think, is just going to snowball his way. Way 2 is going to get picked off.
Yep, track down. Nice kill for Era. A little bit of extra gold that'll certainly help him out, but you know, the problem is they're doing well in terms of isolating single heroes. They did have some problems moving the line around, as we saw earlier on. Their issue is these big gank attempts in mid in particular, for the most part, just are not favorable trades. And we saw 0 for 3 traded and the tower lost on the top of it. And like you said, Koikva's going to have his Orchid soon. What do you do against that kind of mobility? Whenever you have a Weaver who can split push a lane, and a Storm Spirit who can move just with the 2 supports and the Vengeful Spirit and the Crystal Maiden and make things happen on their own, while the Elder Titan is just hanging back and ready to engage at any point. It's just going to be so difficult for Fnatic to outmaneuver them, but they're going to try as they smoke up now in the Radiant jungle.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen too much of Clockwork. I mean, it's mostly just been Hani and Era doing most of the grunt work on Fnatic, trying to pick these heroes off. And something about Liquid is they're very adaptive. They got 1 kill on Bulba in mid. Second time they try it, boom, like 3 heroes are there. So they're very, very aware of this. Fluff looks like he's going to get owned, or Koikva. I don't know which one. Both.
Koikva pops the DD. There it is. Blinked on, silenced out. There's the Gale. And no reprisal yet. And actually, check that. They are going to go ahead and try to converge here. TC throws out the swarm, catches a couple. But looks like Fnatic will be able to take a free one there. Now, this is what they can be doing. This is where they do have a chance to play their way back into it. Just constantly be trying to pick one off from Liquid. Very difficult to do against this lineup. Down at bottom, Way 2 ate some damage with no stun from Era. Able to teleport away. But, I mean, you know, if you're in Fnatic's shoes, is this the kind of plan you have for the next 15 minutes or so, Merlini? Or do you have – what's the best way to build off of this kind of a strategy, this kind of pick single target kind of an idea?
You just need to be able to kill Liquid without them being able to respond. And that's very difficult. It's way easier said than done. But having good wars like this will be able to let you know where Liquid is. You pretty much can't go on them when the Vengeful is around, but Way2 hasn't actually been there for too many fights. And they just got to make sure that they don't get counter-initiated on. For example, when they went on Bulba in mid this most recent time, they just got obliterated because Storm Spirit was there, because Crystal Maiden was there. And they just can't take those sort of engagements. They can take engagements like this where TC is, but the problem is they don't ever know where the supports are. And now without the wards, and like they kind of know where they are sometimes, but it's still very risky. So they just got to be very clean and quick about their engagement and just pick off important heroes here and there, just like the kill that they had on Koikva, and just get out of there with taking minimal losses. They also need to prevent Roshan from Liquid, and I think it's going to come out pretty soon. They do not have a medallion, I believe, but now we see the Midas come up on the Crystal Maiden, the Orchid come up on Koikva, and looks like the 4-man is about to begin. Hani has a payload inside of him, but he is as scared as anyone else on Fnatic right now.
Yep, got to go ahead and rotate back towards mid, as we can see. As you mentioned, the 4-man on the way from Liquid, trying to bait things out a little bit with Bulba down in this safe lane. Looks like Fnatic not likely to take it. They may come back and try to make something happen in mid in response, but Liquid's going to be able to drop this tower very quickly. It doesn't look like we're going to have a fight. Take a look at the kill death. We can see the big winner so far. Very nice movement coming out of Fluff on our Crystal Maiden. He's 3-1-1. Era is at 2-0 on the Life Stealer, so he's done his job. Koikva 2-1, 2-2 for Hani, 2-2 for Trixie, then kind of the grab bag after that. But they actually have a chance to defend this mid tower. They're going to glyph it immediately. And yeah, they're going to be able to make it back to defend if they really want to. Tier 1 down here on bottom, and in mid, yeah, not even close. 450 HP left with Bulba still there. They're showing up very quickly to try and spam this out.
Yeah, and Fnatic, they can't really push into this sort of lineup, though, because if Puck or somebody else gets caught out, or Lifestealer even with the Orchid, their damage is going to be suffering so badly and control the fight. So Liquid is going to be able to get the jump on them if Fnatic pushes, and especially with the Swarm Harass and the Astral Spirit, they can't really come up to the tower and just siege it. They don't really have anyone that can go in the front line, especially not Lifestealer at this point, because of, again, the Orchid on Koikva, and he doesn't really have a solution to that at this point. unless they burst down quickly. But that is way easier said than done. And now Liquid has control of Fnatic's jungle right now, and the gold graph is going to continue to extend in Liquid's favor unless Fnatic does something about it. But what do they really do? They're looking for picks, but they don't want to put themselves in compromising situations. And Liquid's in a very good position right now, or their positioning is really good right now, rather. They're always huddled around together. The Vengeful Spirit has been with the hero most of the time, and TC is just farming away. Bulba's farming away. Fluff is farming away too. So mid.
Yep, coil down on mid. Way 2 will be blown up. And Bulba's there to try and track him down. TC there as well. Uses the Astral Spirit, gets the stomp off. And there's the Earth Splitter. Era caught with it. And cleaned up with a little bit of panache. Love the Earth Splitter kills, man. Earth Splitter is one of the most fun abilities in the game to watch go off. 7 to 7.
That's so hard to get a kill with.
And honestly, that's about as disastrous as that could have been. Basically, Era was riding around in Hani for about 2-3 minutes straight there. He was infested into him for so long, and they were just running around this general area trying to find a pick in mid. Finally, they caught it, but trading a Vengeful Spirit for your Lifestealer after investing that much time just to make it happen, big loss. And as we can see, the gold graph, certainly not very kind to Fnatic. We're talking 5-digit territory, 10,000 gold to the advantage of Team Liquid, and coming up on 7,500 experience as well. And TC's going to have his BKB up basically now, and needs another 100 gold to finish that out. The items are just coming so quickly for them. Koikva already making progress towards his BKB on top of his Orchid. Crystal Maiden has her Midas, the Elder Titan. As we can see, already has his recipe and his Ogre Club.
Oh, there's smoke. They see the smoke. This might be a good bait by Fnatic over here.
There's the silence on the Hani. Koikva hexed out, caught with the Poison Nova. There's a stun on the fly. Heard the hook coming in, got 2. Way 2 and Fluff going to be blown up. This is a big win for Fnatic as they manage to bring down 3, and TC going to be dusted out. Bulba up on the high ground can do nothing but retreat, and he's still dusted, but doesn't look like they want to overcommit to trying to pursue him. They end up trading 3 for 1, but yeah, Koikva got a little aggressive there. He was fighting uphill into the dark, had no idea there was a whole team staring back at him.
Yeah, that's just very good positioning by Fnatic, very good wardage by them, and yeah, Liquid just kind of walked into that. And that's the thing, Fnatic has to just take good fights with good positioning. They can't be diving T1s for a simple Vengeful Spirit kill. They have to get fights where they have the rune control, they have the vision, they have a sentry ward already placed down. That's exactly what Fnatic needs to do. But the problem is, once Liquid gets 2 BKBs up, 1 on the Storm Spirit, 1 on the Weaver, what is Fnatic going to do? They don't have that much right-click damage. Lifestealer doesn't have a Basher or anything to lock down those 2 heroes while they are BKB'd. And even if he does get one, they can just sort of kite him, if you will, with any of those heroes. Like Weaver and Storm Spirit, just unstoppable in terms of mobility and unmatched during those fights. He really needs Abyssal, but how is he supposed to get farm? Because he also needs to get the kills, and Era on bottom.
Caught out by Koikva. He will go ahead and jump away after doing some damage. And just being able to keep him away from farm at this point. You know, Lifestealer is a hero who can scale well late, so long as the game goes his way. But right now, that's just not the case. There's a Stomp. Actually catches out No Tail. And not going to be any follow-up, so just a little bit of an annoyance. But, you know, we're 22 minutes in, and like you said, he's lacking a Basher. He's lacking much of anything. He's got his armlet up. But he just doesn't feel at all threatening.
On Fluff.
And we can see, yep, moving down there, Fluff had his nose out a bit, but Fnatic looking to take control of their jungle once again. But look at the warding out from Liquid. They know exactly what's going on in this jungle, and they're going to feel quite confident to take fights or to do what they're doing now, which is just draw attention. Look at TC, finding his free farm up to almost 1,000 gold on top of his BKB, his Equila, his Shreds, and his Midas. And he could split push here pretty reliably. Era's going to find some farm off of that, but Liquid really just controlling the pace and the movement and the flow of the entire game right now.
Yeah, Fnatic just has nothing versus BKB, and I think their game plan was, okay, we'll get an early game advantage, we'll get our level 6, and then before Liquid gets their BKB, we'll put a lot of pressure on them, which is what they tried to do, but they just didn't get enough pressure out early, and now Liquid has come too far ahead for Fnatic to keep that up. And the difference in gold earn has actually flattened out, about 11,000 in favor of Liquid, so not too bad there, but that's with only a 3 tower advantage, it looks like, so about like 6,500 gold just in terms terms of farm CS, and the double Midas is going to hurt Fnatic more and more. And if they had a Blink Dagger on Lion, they could just keep them under pressure even with BKBs, because you can just hex them before BKBs. But with only a Blink Dagger on Puck, they can just simply BKB and then pop their defensive cooldowns and just escape ganks and just keep split pushing. And now they're trying to push up mid. They have the smoke up, but there's only Hani in the back, though. He's the hero to watch.
There's the hook comes up short, and Hani gonna go ahead and engage. They're gonna be able to blow up way too. Here comes Bulba, BKB pop. Earth Splinter's there, gets the slow off. TC pursuing him out. In the meantime, Quake's gonna target behind him. He gets a kill. Trixie getting a kill as well. Bulba right there on top of the Venomancer. They end up trading 2 supports for 2 supports plus Trixie. So a win for Liquid. Now this is where things get a little bit scary. Like at this point, just short of this, Way2 almost had his mech done, so that's going to delay that a little bit. But we're going to be getting to the point soon.
And, jump.
Yep, Quake jumping straight to mid and catching Hani out of the face shit. Very nice pick for him. And he's going to be down for 50 seconds. They're going to pressure this tier 2 mid at least a little bit, but they're actually fortunate they got Way2 before he got his mech and brought him down at all. If Way2 was still standing there, they might have tried to Roche, but not going to be the case.
Yeah, Quake almost has BKB too. That was only with 2 BKBs, one on the Weaver, which I don't believe he used, and one on the Elder Titan. And yeah, they can kill a couple of heroes, but after that, they're just forced to run back in. You can't really just wait out the BKB duration. It looks like Fnatic's going to take a very good fight here if they manage to catch Liquid inside the pit. It's about half HP, but Fnatic knows.
There's the hook. Gonna catch Koikva. Way2 gonna be cogged back, and Koikva jumps down. Here comes the BKBs below the fight. TC popping his. Trixie could be in trouble. There's a stomp from Bulba. Trixie will end up dropping. TC has time lapse ready when he needs it. Roche still doing some damage. In the meantime, there's the Vortex on the fly. No Tail could be next. TC is just lighting them up. Freezing Field from Fluff gonna help clean house, and honestly, I don't know that they can do much to come back at this point. Giving up, it's one thing to give up a Roshan. They just gave up 5 more. Quake's going to be right there, blink away from our puck. And let's see, is TC actually going to pursue him out? Hani's hanging out over to the side. And, yep, forces the BKB and gets the kill.
Too late.
Yep, got the kill on Quakefa, and he should be able to jump here in just a minute. In the meantime, Roshan is being beaten down. But even though they get the nice return kill on the Storm Spirit, a little inconvenient because that's probably the hero they would have wanted to put that on. They still managed to bring it down and didn't even see. Yeah, it looks like Weaver grabbing that up. So big win for. I'm actually surprised they tried to take that. They were waiting on Way2, and when he got back up, they ran for the pit after shoving down mid, and they cut it close. But in the end, Liquid with a big coup there, and that gold graph no longer level, coming up on 20,000, right around 17 now in their favor.
Yeah, they're just confident with the BKBs, and it's just there's nothing Fnatic can do about it right now. And there is the mech up on Vengeful Spirit, but Fnatic just really far behind at this point. Level 9.5 on Fly, and we really haven't just seen Fly do that much this game. He just gets caught out by Orchid, just gets hit by Astral Spirit, and then is forced to retreat. I mean, with Wave of Terror on him plus Natural Order, like, he is just going to die in just a couple of hits, sitting at 7 armor, 4 from Tranquils. And I think Puck should have gone Yules earlier just because it's really good at handling the silence. You can't really go Lincolns on him because he'll just pull you and then Orchid you and then you're dead anyways. So I think it's a good pickup from Hani. I think he should have gotten it before the Boots of Travel. Boots of Travel, not that bad on him if they want to keep a lot of pressure up with air inside of him and just be mobile around the map. But this particular game just needs more defensive abilities, or getting a Sheep I think would be really important because they have to have something versus BKB that's either a Blink Hex on Lion or a Blink Hex on Puck.
And we can see TC picking up his Desolator. Now going to be a much bigger threat. Not that he was having any problem in that department at all. I mean, you look at the levels, you can see the supports in particular way under leveled. Now a full 2 levels behind the supports of Team Liquid than you. You're talking Lion and Ben are literally doubled up. There's a hook on the way to. And the finger's there, but now the counter initiation. Fly brought down. No Tail's going to be tracked down. Got off the Poison Nova to begin with. Trixie cleaned up behind the fight. And Hani will be able to make it away along with Era, but this will be the death of a tier 2 bottom for absolute certain. The Aegis never even threatened there, and we're really not far away from Liquid being able to threaten 2 freaks.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, I don't think we're that far from the GG at all. And Hane is looking for initiate, but it's just them two right now. And Era's not getting any sort of farm because of how long he's been sitting inside Puck.
There we go. Gonna grab 2. TC does still have the Aegis. Bulba could be in trouble. Will be cleaned up. Yules gets Puck out of trouble for a minute. TC's gonna time lapse and isolate himself against Trixie. Does a decent amount of damage. Gets the Aegis pop though. Koikba in the meantime grabs a kill, make it 2. And TC fresh back up. They end up trading away Clock and Puck, both, just to get the Elder Titan and the Aegis. Koikba gets away. TC will go ahead and ignore the TP and scurry back to safety that away. But call that a good trade? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got Bulba, but that was without their BKBs, or at least without the BKB on a few of their heroes. So, yeah, I mean, Fnatic, I think that was a good try to try and initiate there. Unfortunately, they weren't as clumped up as they would have liked, and a lot of the supports were still dead on Fnatic before they initiated, but they pretty much just had to work with what they were given before their T2 was falling down, and given the element of surprise, you don't really expect a Puck to jump on them in a 2-on-3 situation.
And Liquid happy to just fall back and farm a little bit. And really their items coming out very quickly. We can see Fluff again up to a 4 staff. Bulba has 2,800 gold in his inventory aside from the BKB, which he's had up for quite some time. As you mentioned, Way2, of course, getting up his mech quite some time ago. Koikva has 3,200 gold right now. We'll see what he wants to grab up. Could start working. He's going to go and get a Mystic Staff, so it looks like he'll be on his way to a Sheep.
Yeah, Fnatic can't even get the T1 tower in mid. They've gotten 1 tower the whole entire game, and that is very, very problematic for their supports. They have like no mech coming anytime soon. Looking at the Lion, Tranquil Boots, Bracer, Magic Stick. Looking at the Venomancer, Brown Boots, Obs Ward, Magic Wand, Town Portal Skull. You're talking about like around like 1,500 net worth for each of these 2 heroes, and that is just very problematic when they have a CM with a Midas, almost a pipe, 4 staff, Tranquil Boots. You have a Vengeful Spirit with mech, Urn, almost treads too, and like his mech alone is worth more than the Venomancer.
This ward right here, by the way, circling it over in top lane, spotted out the infest of the Lifestealer in Nahani, so they know exactly what Fnatic's going to be trying to do, and they're going to be able to position themselves to abuse it. Down at bottom, we can see TC's in a position to split push if they decide to try to smoke here. Which
they couldn't even kill Koikva if they went on him. He just BKBs and ults out. Like, I mean, it's just such a low probability kill for them, and I mean that's even without the Observer Ward there too. So it's just so difficult for Fnatic to get any sort of kills on the map right now. I think they just like I don't even know, like try and bait out a gank from something though. But the problem is Liquid doesn't need to play aggressively at all. Like normally you'd like bait out and then counter with hook shot. Oh, here they go.
There's going to be a swap. Trixie, Cogs out. Here comes Koikva in. BKB's up on everyone. Way2 in some trouble. Poison over from No Tail. There's a nice Earth Splitter though that caught a couple. And 3 down. Going to be a full wipe. GG called. Yep. Completely caught them out, and that'll prompt the GG. Koikva, once again, having a standout game, and we've talked a lot about the experience factor. He got a lot last year with Mouse Sports, and he is beginning to really develop into one of the most solid solo lane players coming out of the West. Finishes the game at 13-3-9 for him. Obviously, the standout performer here in Game 1, but really, the wheels came off the wagon very early for Fnatic. And Liquid, this is just what they've been doing throughout their entire Western schedule, Merlini. They didn't just take a couple of big wins and have a couple of big ganks. They just slowly but surely punished Fnatic for what mistakes they made, found themselves a lead, and then pressed it and pressed it and pressed it. Now, 31 minutes in, they take a very convincing Game 1 win.
Yeah, and Liquid just pretty much does the same thing as you said, and it's just, you know, pick difficult to kill heroes, pick heroes that should win their lanes, and then farm up BKBs and just roll you. And they're very good at splitting up around the map efficiently. Their playstyle is very predictable, but it's very effective, and people really haven't found a solution to it. And I mean, Fnatic is trying to, but we'll see what they have prepared for game number 2.
31 minutes, 13 seconds, the time it took for Liquid to finish off Fnatic here in Game 1. 16-30, nearly doubling them up in the kill score by the time all was said and done. Liquid takes a Game 1 win and is now just 1 win away from really putting themselves in a position to be the hands-on favorites to finish second behind Alliance in our entire group stage, which, again, I don't think many would have predicted. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Thanks for joining us today, guys. It is the front end right now of a Team Liquid doubleheader. Right now, obviously, taking on Fnatic. Their second series of the day will be against Mousesports, where they'll come in heavily favored. It'll be Mousesports' last match as well as Liquid. And totally different stories there. Mouse looking for their first actual win. The only win they tallied being due to Dignitas's forfeit when they withdrew. But, don't count them out. A lot of talent on that squad as well. But right now, Liquid just thinking goose egg, while Fnatic wants to get things back on track and give themselves a chance to finish with a high seed coming out of the West. The voice you're hearing on the other end of the line, by the way, that's Ben Merlini Wu, and I'm AC. You can find our Twitter addresses right below us. Thanks to Conrad, our awesome production assistant. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday, and want to thank you for spending your Saturday hours here with us, be it morning, evening, or afternoon. Always a pleasure to have you in here on the HyperX D2L. Game 2 coming up next. Stick with us. We'll be right back.